Everyone, Michael here. Today we'll be doing a quick session on getting set up with R and RStudio on tablets and Chromebooks. You might be watching this because you also have an interest in using R for CPU-intensive projects such as machine learning. This will be applicable to you as well, but really what it's meant for is for people who don't have access to a Mac or Windows-based system. So in your browser, if you just go to the main RStudio website, you will see that under the products section, there is a RStudio cloud service. It's under their hosted services tab. If you click through to that, you see that there is a sign up section here. To get started with RStudio, all you really need is just your email address. This will allow you to get set up with the product, and if you already have used it before, you can log in. Now, I'm just going to quickly jump forward on this section just so that I don't disclose my email address. But for those of you who are getting set up for free, and if it's your first time using it, I'm just going to quickly show you this page, which shows available plans. Now, unless you are planning on using this service for very, very minimal workloads, so maybe you just use RStudio once a month, twice a month, then I would say go ahead and just use the cloud-free service. If you are using this maybe for educational purposes, or if you are a person who does a lot of data analysis and data work, moderate data analysis or moderate data work, you might want to consider using the Plus option. What this does is that it takes the base free plan, which gives you 15 project hours per month, and it upscales it to 50 project hours per month. So that's roughly about anything around 12 hours a week, for example. Now, you can, of course, just sign up with the free service and see how you go. And I will show you where you would need to go to upgrade the service from the free service to the Plus service. So like I said, I'm just going to quickly fast forward just so that I get into my actual workspace. Right, so once you've finished your sign up process, you should be able to view this dashboard. Now there are some really useful tabs here, and these are tabs that you don't get on the base RStudio program, and this is also because this is a web client. First, you have a guide, which is quite useful. This will just pretty much help you navigate the online version of RStudio. As you can see, there are quite useful guides here that you might want to have a look at a later point. I'll just quickly allude to these, but I would encourage you to read them in your own time. In the What's New section, this is just information about the RStudio cloud platform. It will mainly look at what's changed, if there are any updates. It's only relevant really if you're using the service quite concurrently, and they might be something that may affect you, but nothing major. We also have some primers here, and really what these are just quick getting to understand R exercises. You may find these useful. They're really quite bite-sized, so if you are going into anything that's in more depth, you might find that you might need something a little bit more advanced. But if this is your first time getting into R, they are a good resource. And if it's your first time using the R cloud workspace, it's also quite useful to help you understand the packages and so on and so forth. The next section is the cheat sheets, and cheat sheets are available to everybody. It's just that on the RStudio, the R cloud workspace, they're currently embedded on the platform itself. So on the current web page, you can access them there. But anybody who would like to access any of these cheat sheets can just Google RStudio cheat sheets or R cheat sheets, and there's quite a collection of them. I'm not going to go into any detail with these, just because they are fairly self-explanatory, and if you don't really understand them just yet, I would probably encourage you to spend a little bit more time working on one of the packages and then having a look at the cheat sheets later. So I just kind of get up to speed with the package firstly, and then use the cheat sheet as a good resource just to kind of refresh your memory whenever you're doing some work. And the last sections are the current system status and the RStudio community. Now, these are external web pages. I'm not going to necessarily look at them right now, but it would just tell you. So, for example, if you're working on a project, if you experience any disruption, you may very well want to click onto one of these and just see whether or not the system is currently running okay. And the RStudio community is very helpful and also very friendly. Now, going back to the initial point about plans and pricing, you're able to currently upgrade your plan from here. So if you have signed up and you have signed up with the cloud free option, you can quickly navigate through the tabs here on the left and select Plus again, and then you can subscribe to it. So you don't have to sign up to Plus just yet, but if you need it, you can then subscribe. The premium plan is quite a bit more money, and it's probably, if you're using this for any educational purposes, I would say it's overkill. It's a little bit too much unless you were working on a very, very big research project and maybe you had access to some funds and you can potentially expense those funds to this, because this is over $100 really once you work out all the tax at the end of it. And what I would probably say is just use the Plus option or the base option to start with and see how you go. And we're not going to really touch on Instructure or organization because those are just completely different systems altogether. So just back to the workspace tab. If you've had a look at the initial video and you've seen what it is to install R or RStudio, if you remember correctly, once you have it installed, the window or the program pops up and it will show you 3 windows to begin with. So this system it takes a little bit longer just because it's deploying the project and getting the virtual machine running. But once that's done, what you have is essentially the same interface that you had on the program through your applications on either a Mac or Windows based system. And you've got the console on the left, and on the right you've got your environment and your files. So each one of these panels will be present, and just so that we can quickly have a look at this again, we'll just do that again, and the console runs perfectly fine. It runs exactly as you would expect it to in the RStudio environment on a local PC or on a local Mac. Right, now we're completely set up with RStudio Cloud and we're ready to start moving forward with the rest of the tutorials. Thanks for watching, and do drop me a line if you have any other questions.